Good morning. Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. It's breakfast time this morning, and I've only had half a cup of coffee, and I'm still in my pajamas. We had a work day in the garden yesterday, and we're all a little tired this morning. So I'm going to make a really special breakfast. I'm going to make Scotch eggs, and I have twine to start with. So you've seen me peel dozens of perfect eggs. And last night I boiled some eggs, steamed some eggs. You can see my video. And for the first time in a long time, they weren't all perfect. See that one? It's not perfect. But here's the thing about Scotch eggs. It doesn't matter. So Scotch eggs are just simply eggs wrapped in sausage, breaded and fried. And they're so yummy. So I've got here some bulk sausage, a pound of bulk sausage. And for each egg, I want a little ball of sausage about the size of the egg. So a little extra there. That's all right. So to work with the sausage, you want to wet your hands. And I've got a little bowl of cold water over there. And I'm going to mash this out. And you can do this in a, put it in a paper bag, but I find, I'm sorry, put it in a plastic bag and mash it out. But I find that then when you take it up, to separate it from the plastic, then it messes up again. So I'm just going to start on my cutting board and mash out that sausage. I may have just a little bit more than I need here, but that's okay. Loosen it up a little. Okay, one egg. Fold it around, fold it around. Got a spot that I'm missing there. We'll just put some on it. Got just a bit too much. And you want to work it with your hands, wet hands, by the way, until you don't see any breaks. And you want to, where you've got the little seams where it was coming together. Oops, there's a place that's a break. And there's a place. So we're pushing it all together because we want to have it kind of smooth. With no breaks. Kind of rubbing the bumps and creases out. And there you go. A dinosaur egg. Or a Scotch egg. Let me do one more for you. I'm going to use this egg that's not perfect. Work it, work it, work it. Little seam here on the bottom. And there you go. 6 Scotch eggs ready for the next step. And a little bit of sausage left out of this pound. And I think I'll do something special with that. That's a surprise for later. Okay, we're back. We're going to assemble our Scotch eggs. And I didn't say at the beginning, the eggs were steamed 5 minutes less than I normally do for hard boiled or hard steamed eggs. So these were steamed by my method, which I will put the link in the information of steaming eggs for, these were steamed for 20 minutes. So they're done, but they're not hard done. So, gonna start, and I've set up an assembly line. What I have here is 2 beaten eggs. Of course, what I have here are my dinosaur eggs, or Scotch eggs. And they firmed up a little because they've been in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. So you have beaten eggs. This is self-rising flour, which has salt in it. Because if you notice, I haven't salted anything else. Once these are done, I'll salt them then. But there's salt in this. If you use all-purpose flour, you want to put about a half a teaspoonful of salt in here. And this is a mixture of panko crumbs and matzo meal. You can use all panko crumbs. I just like the lightness of the matzo meal. So when I'm frying something crispy, I usually put a little matzo meal in it. And I'm going to do an assembly here, and you'll notice I'm not wearing gloves. I did wash my hands, and it is going to be messy. But I can't do this with gloves. So I'm going to do the dry hand, wet hand method. So this is the wet hand. And into the egg wash. All the way around. Into the flour. Dry hand. And the flour makes it a little gummy, and into the breadcrumbs. You know, you can use other breadcrumbs. If you make your own breadcrumbs, that's fine. Oops, I missed a step, by the way. Back with the wet hand. Now back in the breadcrumbs. I'll do the next one right. Make sure your sausage is still all together and that you have no breaks. And back over here. So, wet hand. Dry hand. Wet hand. dry hand. Back on the cutting board. Okay, still got a mess. Now I'm going to go wash both hands and I'll be right back. Okay, here you go. My dinosaur eggs. These are going back in the fridge. This will be the last thing that we cook with our big old country breakfast this morning. I'll be back and meet you at the stove. Okay, we're ready to cook our eggs. What I have here is a 2-quart Dutch oven. And I have lard in it, but you can use oil. And I have more than I would use to cook eggs. Because I'm going to sort of deep fry these. They don't have to be, I mean, I will turn them over. But you want your oil to be hot enough that a crumb floats. Hope you see that. Came right up. And I'm going to very carefully, I left these in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to cook them 2 at a time in this hot oil. Yeah, well, I should have let it get a little hotter. It actually needs to be about 325 to 350. And I do have a thermometer. I don't always check it because dropping a crumb in tells you pretty close. And it's starting to sizzle really good. I'll wait and drop the other one in just a second. You may know if you've been watching, I have a new stove and it has one of these high BTU burners in my favorite spot. And I'll bet that's your favorite spot too. Right front. And so I'm trying to learn how to regulate this new high BTU burner. And I'm afraid I'm going to burn things, and so I end up often not getting things hot enough. But we got a good simmer going there, a good roll. So I'm going to put the second one in. Now these don't have to cook a long time. The sausage is pretty thin. The egg is already cooked. I do want the egg to get good and warm all the way through, even though it's already cooked. We don't want a cold egg in the middle of our hot sausage. So we're probably talking about 3 minutes on one side, turn it over and cook it for another minute, minute and a half. We'll see. I'm watching my timer. Okay, it's been about 2 minutes. You see we got a really, really good roll going. I'm going to wait 1 more minute because the sausage is not golden brown and we're frying, and you don't turn anything until it's golden brown when you're frying. Okay, see that? That's our golden brown. And that was right at 3 minutes. Okay, here you go. Golden brown all the way around. I'm going to take these up onto a paper towel, let them cool a little bit, and then we'll plate them up, and I'll show you our country breakfast. Well, here you go, our country breakfast, because these are Scotch eggs, but this is a Southern kitchen. So what I have here is sausage gravy, and I have some of our dehydrated apples back here that I cooked this morning to go with our breakfast. And let's look at this Scotch egg, and if you can hear that, It's crispy. And there you go. The egg is not too done. Fred won't eat a dippy yolk. So this is done, but not overdone. And that was a 20-minute steam. And let's see. You know, I jokingly call these dinosaur eggs. And in the recently when I see them, I always think of Game of Thrones and dragon eggs. Still pretty hot. You got your sausage and egg in one bite. And oh, it's so good. So give dragon eggs, dinosaur eggs, Scotch eggs a try. And I hope you'll also try this sausage gravy. It's yummy. Thanks for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. I'll see you in the garden.